Hello, this is a rough translation and commentary on Virgil's Aeneid, Book 2, lines 790 through 804. Let's get started. That's going to be annoying. All right. So, when she had given these spoken words, that was after she said this, she deseruit, right? She vanished. She deserted, she left. Lacrimantum et multa volentum dicere. Presumably me, through ellipsis, right? Me is not there, but me is what Aeneas means. She left me crying and wanting to say many things. And she vanished in tenuis auras, into thin airs. Thrice I tried there then to give my arms around her neck. Thrice in vain, her image, her pressed image fled my hands. Equal to light winds and very similar to a flying or winged dream, maybe. Thus, at last, with the night taken up, I revisit my allies. And here, I find that a huge number of new allies, and here I, marveling, find that a huge number, in gentem numerum, of new allies, comitum novorum, ad fruxae, had flowed in. Mothers and husbands, and the youth gathered together in exile, and the miserable lot, right? A miserable lot, a really poor and pitiable crowd, right? They gathered from everywhere, prepared with their minds and with their goods, with their wealth, with whatever stuff they're going to bring with them. That I should, prepared towards wherever or whatever lands, quascunque terras, I might like to lead them on the sea, moving by the sea. And now, Lucifer was rising on the peaks of highest Ida, and was leading the day. And the Danaans were holding a siege, right? We're holding the sieged entrances, obsessa limina, portarum of the gates. Nor was there any hope, spes olda, nor was there any hope for help, nor was any hope given for help, right? Opis dabator. I left, and I sought the mountains, having picked up my father. Okay, so let's go over that a little bit. All right. Yeah, so this is the end of book 2. This is Aeneas describing to Dido how he and the Trojans that are currently with him got out of Troy. And yeah, it's a sad, pathetic sight. He's lost his wife. He's had to go back. Aeneas is burdened by his fate continually. He doesn't really want to leave Troy. He'd really rather fight and die there if he could, as he tells Dido later in book 4. But he has to. He's the guy that's got to go to Italy. He's got to bring the rest of his refugees with him, and found a new place. And a lot of that emotion is here in this chunk. All right, so I guess let's go through and talk a little bit. I think you can make a good argument for dicta dedit and dicere deseruit are a little bit of alliteration going to get all that didit sound. You've got enjambment between line 790 and 791. We have the she vanished into thin air, which my students were surprised that was a thing even back then, but yeah, that's been a saying for a while. Tear and tear are both repeated there, and it's the start of successful clauses, so that would be a nathera. More alliteration maybe with the wah sound. It's not quite the same exact sound, but yeah. And then we got the similimus omnu. I think that's, you can make a good argument for alliteration in that line. The night has been completely consumed. Is that we're gonna have the image brought together again with Lucifer a little later. And that's when he goes back to visit his allies. He finds this huge crowd of people, right? And in Gentem Numerum, right? In Gentem goes the numerum, so that's our A and A. Comitum novorum, of new allies, of new travel companions. So that is an ABBA pattern. Yet another chiasmus. And then we have a list of the people that he is explaining what the crowd is. So it's the moms and dads, the collected youth, the miserable lot, right? I think you can make an argument for matres vidosque collectam exilio pubem, for that being a tricolon, because they're all three in the accusative. They are the list of the thing that he found, and they are further described as the pitiable lot. And these people are ready to follow him wherever he wants to lead them. Ida is the mountain near Troy in Turkey. Lucifer refers to the morning star. It's the light bringer, which means that this is the dawn of a new day, right? It's Aeneas. It has to leave Troy, and it's the start of the new journey, which we'll pick up on in book 3, I believe, a little bit if you read ahead. Duque batque diem daneque, right? More alliteration. Enjambment between tenebant and limina portarum. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think this last line, I want to say it's called hysteron proteron, where you put what had to happen second first. So he says, I left. And with my father having been picked up. So in other words, he had to have picked up his father before he left, but in the order of the line, it's I left, and with my father having been picked up, I headed for the mountains. I think that's hysteron proteron, but please look it up for yourselves to be sure that you feel like that fits the agreement. And that concludes the IB readings for 24 through 26 of Virgil in terms of commentary. I hope this was the least bit helpful. Wale.